warm and a hearty welcome to all of you friends from the entire team at BYJU'S Exam Prep. And we are bringing to you on this very important day a non-stop marathon on legal current affairs. Now, yesterday we had a very important session on legal reasoning, right? And we did try to understand a number of important concepts relating to law. In this session today, all that we are planning to do is to understand for ourselves certain very important aspects which are absolutely important for you if you are preparing for AILET 2022. Now, those of you who have not seen the previous session that was conducted by me yesterday, I'm requesting all of you to go through that video because it's a very important video. We have understood very important topics relating to criminal law, law of contracts, constitution, as well as law of torts. In today's session, all that I plan to do is to discuss with you certain important legal current affairs. Now, for example, there are various important appointments that have taken place in the recent past. Certain laws have been made by the Parliament in the recent past. So, in this session, we shall be only discussing about two very important things. One is recent laws that are passed either by the Parliament or by the state legislature, as well as we shall also be talking about what? Recent legal news. So let's begin friends with today's session, recent legislation. Okay, so we are going to now talk about the recent legislation. Now, the first important legislation that I am going to talk to you about is the Dam Safety Act of 2021. Now, the Union Parliament in the year 2021 has legislated a very important law relating to the safety of dams. Now, we all require dams, whether you like it or not, because it creates energy for us, like hydroelectricity projects are there, hydel projects are there. So water is used not only for creating electricity, but also for the purposes of irrigation. Now, a lot of people might say that, sir, why do we require dam? Now, we have 1.3 billion population. Now, we require water. Now, water has to be saved or have to be kept for the dry seasons, right? Water has to be kept for the dry season. Now, in this particular law, what we have tried to do is to understand for ourselves the Parliament of India to provide surveillance, inspection, operation and maintenance of various dams. Now, most of the dams across the country are pretty old. Now, there are maintenance problem going on. There are other allied issues going on, right? Some of the dams are not in the proper shape, not in the proper size. So there are maintenance issues going on. Now, to provide safety of these dams, to make sure that these dams do not break, this law was precisely passed. Now let's read. to provide for the surveillance, inspection, operation and maintenance of specified dam for the prevention of dam failure related issues. Now, we had seen in the recent past certain cloudburst in Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, and it was owing to certain dams, right? Certain natural activities, okay, had been caused owing to certain dams. Now, to prevent these disaster, we have the government of India felt to create this particular law. Now, what does this particular law says? It says that it will constitute a national committee for formulation of dam safety policies. The safety of dam is very, very important, guys. Do not forget that. It's very, very important. What are they going to do? They are going to analyze the causes of major dam incidents, dam failures, and suggest appropriate changes. Evolving comprehensive dam safety management approach, making recommendation on the request by the central government on safety measures in respect of dams. So, this particular law was categorically created as insofar as providing surveillance, inspection, operation and maintenance of these dams to prevent dam failures, to prevent disasters from happening. Is that clear, all of you? Very important law. You might end up getting a question on this also, because this is a very important legislation passed in the recent past. Okay, moving on to the next important law that was passed by the Union Parliament, and that is Assisted Reproductive Technology Regulation Act of 2021. Now, there are many couples who are not biologically absolutely fit to have kids, right? So, they can have kids with some help of certain technologies. For example, IVF, ICSI, and other technologies. So, medical science has developed over the years in such a way that couples who generally could not have children, they can also have children. Now, it is very important for us to understand that this is more or less an unregulated part. There is no law relating to these. Of course, we have a law on surrogacy also. But this assisted reproductive technology, this is all assisted reproductive technology that we are talking about. Now, to regulate this assisted reproductive technology, which includes gamete donation, other IUI, IVF, and for example, you have sperm injection and others ways. Now, this is essentially to protect affected women and children from exploitation. Now, what is the reason for this particular law? The reason for this particular law is to have a proper rules and proper regulation insofar as this assisted reproductive technology is concerned. There is no law as such in India. There is no such law. Now, this particular law that is created by our legislature wishes to establish a registration authority that will keep all database of the people who are donating sperms, the people who are using these various technologies, which technology has been used by whom. So, as a matter of fact, there was no law previously. The Parliament felt that this assisted reproductive technology is being used by many couples, and hence a law is being created to establish a national registry and registration authority which will keep all database of the clinics, banks on assisted reproductive technology. Those who are indulging in practicing sex selection, unlawful sale of human embryos, gametes, running such agencies, rackets, organizations will be punished under the law. So if there are agencies who are using these things, if you are using, suppose a person is a doctor and he knows all these things. Now if he is using these technologies for sex selection, for unlawful sale of embryos or gametes, or you are running a kind of a racket, some agency to do all these unlawful practices, then you will be punished under this law. There was no law, there was a vacuum. The parliament felt it that yes, it's the appropriate time to create a law on this particular subject. Okay. So these are some of the most important recent legal developments. Okay, you might get a question from this also. Okay, is that clear, all of you? Moving on to the next important law. The next important law is the Farm Laws Repeal Act of 2021. Now, the Farm Laws Repeal Act of 2021, I am sure most of you are aware of. Now, the government of India felt that there was a need of creating 3 important farm laws. Okay. So, the government of India in the year 2020, created 3 important farm laws that were passed by the parliament. Now, the farmers protested. The farmers protested against these laws. Now, the farmers were not happy with these laws and hence they protested. There was a year-long protest, more than a year-long protest. Okay. Now, various organizations, unions had also joined in, and the protest was continuing forever and ever and ever. Although there were many talks between the government and the Kisan leaders, okay, farm leaders. Now, what happened? Finally, the government, owing to other reasons, had to scrap these laws. First, let's understand what were these laws. The first law was Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act 2020, which dealt with contract farming. Very, very important. Which dealt with contract farming. That means a farmer can enter into a contract with a businessman and say that, okay, I have a piece of land. I will work hard for 1 year. You supply me the seeds. Whatever I manufacture, I will give you 80% of it for X amount of money. So this was a law that gave birth to contract farming in India. That means a farmer could enter into a contract with a businessman insofar as producing certain grains or other vegetable is concerned. Okay, that was the first law. The second law was Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Facilitation Act. Now, this particular law, I'll tell you what the law is. Now, generally, farmers used to sell their produce. Whatever they used to produce, they used to sell those vegetables and grains in the mandi. Now, what is this mandi? That is called APMC. What we generally call as mandi is nothing but APMC. What is APMC? Agricultural Produce Marketing Committee. So this is what we generally term as a mandi, sabji mandi. Okay. So generally the farmers used to sell their produce in the mandis, right? In the APMC, Agricultural Produce Marketing Committee. Now, by virtue of this particular law, the farmers had an option. Either they could sell their produce in the mandis or they could sell it to anybody. Now the problem was simply this. Now if you go to an APMC mandi to sell your produce, the government always has a fixed price, okay? Potato X amount of rupees, not less than X amount of rupees per ton. Rice, this quality, not less than X amount of rupees per quintal. But if you are trying to open this area, then all the businessmen might enter and they might say, you know, if you are wanting to sell it to me, this is the price. I will not give 1 paisa more or 1 paisa less. So the farmers were not happy with these two laws, both contract farming laws as well as selling their produce outside the mandis is concerned. And thirdly, the government created this law, Essential Commodities Amendment Act of 2020, which was sought to regulate the supply of certain food items such as cereals, pulses and onions only under extraordinary circumstances such as war, famine and extraordinary price rise. Now, what people do? Businessmen, they create scarcity. Of course, in India, suppose in a particular year, there is a good ample amount of rice. Now, big businessmen will buy all the rice and there will be scarcity. They will keep all the rice in the cold storage. They will keep the entire thing in the cold storage and there is no rice in the market. The price will increase. Since there is scarcity, the price will increase. Now, to stop this, Essential Commodities Act was made. Now, this amendment to the Essential Commodities Act provides to regulate the supply of certain good items such as cereal, pulses, onions only under extraordinary circumstances like during war, during famine or under extraordinary price rise. But other than that, businessmen could store all these things in cold storage and let the price go up there in the sky. So these three laws were created by the government. Later on, owing to the protest by farmers, there was humongous protest across the country. Owing to that, the government had to repeal. Now, before it repealed the law, the Supreme Court of India intervened. The Supreme Court of India intervened in this particular matter and had stayed the implementation of these three laws. The Supreme Court of India had to step in and say that government, please do not implement these laws which have been created by the parliament, because there was a huge amount of crisis. There was huge amount of a kind of a shutdown going on especially in Punjab, in Haryana, in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so this is the third important law that we have studied in today's session, friends. Okay, are we all understanding these sessions? Okay, now let's understand certain laws other than these three by way of question answer. The first question: Prohibition of Child Marriage Amendment Bill 2021 proposes to increase the legal age of marriage of women in the country to what? Now, generally the law is men, it is 21 years. A woman, it is 18 years. Marriage, the marriageable age, right? The marriageable age generally under the law for men is 21 years, for women is 18 years. That is what the law is. Now, by virtue of this particular amendment bill, by virtue of this Prohibition of Child Marriage Amendment Bill 2021, the government, the parliament is trying to increase this 18 years to 21 years. 21 years, absolutely. B, option B is the right answer. Is that clear? Okay, moving on. Next question. Which of the following is also known as the Sharada Act? Which of the following? Protection of children from sexual offences, it's called POSCO. Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act 2015, Child Marriage Restraint Act 1929, or the Indian Penal Code of 1860. Okay, people are saying C. Okay, let's see. Sharada Act refers to the fact that, about 100 years back, women used to get married at the age of 9 years, 10 years, 12 years, 13 years girls are getting married. Now the British government thought that it was to be stopped, and they created this particular law in the year 1929. Now, a lot of credit goes to people, some of our freedom fighters, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, who helped to bring this change in our society. So the correct answer is the Child Marriage Restraint Act of 1929. I have an allied question. The Indian Penal Code of 1860, who drafted the Indian Penal Code of 1860? Who is the draftsman of the Indian Penal Code? Please tell me. Who is the draftsman of the Indian Penal Code? I'm waiting for your answers. On the recommendation of the first Law Commission, this particular law was made, the Indian Penal Code. Now, at that, the chairman of the first Law Commission of India was none other than Lord Macaulay. Very good, very good. Lord Macaulay. Lord Macaulay was the chairman of the first Law Commission. On his recommendation, this law was drafted. Okay, it is also called as Lord Macaulay's Code. Okay, it is also referred to as Lord Macaulay's Code. Okay, is that clear? Okay, yeah, Sharda Act, option C. Moving on. Question number 3. The Wildlife Protection Amendment Bill of 2021 proposes to implement provisions of CITES, cities. What is the full form of cities? That's the pure. Unless and until you know about this law, it will be difficult for you. Yeah. Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, or is it the Committee on International trade in endangered species or wild fauna and flora, consideration on international treaties in endangered species of wild fauna and flora, or cancellation on international trade in endangered species of wild fauna and flora. The only difference is convention, committee, consideration and cancellation. All C. Okay, let's see what is the correct answer. Let us see what is the correct answer. And the correct answer is, it is the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. Okay, is that clear? So option A is the right answer. Option A happens to be the right answer. Very good, very good. Brilliant, lovely. So guys, if you are liking this session, do press the like button. Do share this session with your friends who are also preparing for AILET 2022. The next question is up there on your screen. Please read this question carefully and answer. The weapons of mass destruction and their delivery system. Weapons of mass destruction and their delivery system, Prohibition of Unlawful Activities, Amendment Bill of 2022 proposes to prohibit what? Unlawful manufacture of chemical, biological and nuclear weapon, unlawful transport, unlawful transfer, unlawful manufacture, unlawful transport, unlawful transfer of chemical, biological, nuclear weapons and their means of delivery. Same. Which of the following? Okay, people are saying D. Okay, fantastic. So the correct answer is all of the above. All of the above. The correct answer is option D. All of the above. Yeah. It seeks to stop weapons of mass destruction like chemical, biological, nuclear weapons insofar as their delivery is concerned, be it manufacture, be it transport, be it transfer of these WMDs, weapon of mass destruction. Okay. All of the above. Yes, question number 4. Moving on to question number 5. Indian Antarctic Bill of 2022 proposes what? Atlantic Treaty, Convention on the Conservation of Antarctic Marine Living Resources, a Protocol on Environment Protection to the Antarctic Treaty, or all of the above? Please tell me. Okay, good, option D, very good, all of you are doing great, fantastic. Convention on the Conservation of Antarctic Marine Living Resource, Protocol on Environmental Protection to the Antarctic Treaty. So all of the above is the right answer again. All of the above happens to be the right answer again, guys. Very good, guys, very good, absolutely brilliant. All of the above. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Question number 6. Which of the following bills deals with a recent law that was passed by the Parliament relating to agricultural sector? Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill, Contract Farming, Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce. We have also studied this, Farm Laws Repeal, Essential Commodities Amendment Bill, Is that clear? So, whatever you have learned, you must have learned good amount of things in the last couple of months. Do use it. We are bringing to you these sessions so that to brushen you up. You have already studied this. It's not for the first time that you are hearing all these things. You have already studied. We are just helping you to brush up. Okay? Correct answer is option D. Moving on to question number 7. Which of the following bills provides preventive measures for violence against healthcare personnel? Now, if you remember, during this COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of people, whose relatives were admitted in hospitals, and some of them, their relative died or were diagnosed with some other problems. They did a lot of violence against the healthcare people. Now, people who are healthcare, who are in the healthcare department, for example, doctors, nurses. Now, these people who are saving the lives of the others, there were a number of violent incidents against them during this COVID-19 pandemic. Okay? During this COVID-19 pandemic. So during this COVID-19 pandemic, there was all these ruckus that was going on. Now, which of the following is correct? When did COVID-19 come into being? (2020). I'm sure that you must have heard about that lockdown, or have you forgotten it? No, I'm sure you haven't, right? So the correct answer is 2020. It happened during the coronavirus epidemic, pandemic in India. The next question, question number 8. Now this is a difficult question because all the questions will not be, you will not be able to solve all the questions, okay? If you can solve 100, if you score 150 out of 150, then the person who has made that question paper will feel sad that everyone has attempted and has got 100 out of 100. You cannot. So there will be certain questions which will be absolutely difficult for you to answer. Now what do you do? Now this question we have kept just to tell you that. The Insolvency and the Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill of 2020 deals with what? Now, when you get these type of questions, what should you generally do? What should you generally do? Now, you keep in your mind that there is something called a negative marking. There is something called a negative marking, right? There is something called a negative marking. If you are not sure of these questions, do not worry. Do not worry. I will tell you the right answer. The right answer is option A. The right answer is option A. But wait, listen to me. Listen to me. When you get these kind of questions, and I have kept this question intentionally just to tell you or to give you a tip that if you are faced with these questions, if you don't know, remember you have a negative marking. What should you do? You must skip. Just skip the question. Don't lose that 0.25 marks for a wrong answer. Is that clear? All of you. Have I made myself absolutely clear to each and every one of you? Okay? There will be questions like these. There will be questions like these which will be difficult for you to solve. Just skip. The intention behind keeping this question is to tell you this small tip. Moving on. Question number 9. The Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda, Bill 2020, established a state-of-the-art Ayurveda institution called the Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda. Now, this way is located where? Jamnagar, Gwalior, Bangalore, Kanpur. By virtue of the Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda Bill 2020, a very important institute, which is called the Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda, has been created. Is it created in Jamnagar, Gujarat, Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, Bangalore, Karnataka, or Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh? And the correct answer is Jamnagar, Gujarat. It is Jamnagar, Gujarat. Okay, are we done? Moving on. Question number 10. Read the question very carefully, guys. Read the question very carefully. The Indian Institutes of Information Technology Laws Amendment Bill 2020 declares 5 Indian Institute of Information Technologies IIT set up under a public-private partnership mode. One is to be created in Surat, the other in Bhopal, the other one in Bhagalpur, other one in Agartala. But there are 5, right? Which is the other place? Which is the other place? 5 IITs will be created. 5 IITs will be created. One will be in Surat, one Bhopal, one Bhagalpur, Agartala. Which is the 5th one? And the correct answer is, tell me. 10 says Raipur. Okay. Kumari Asmita Singh, 10B. Okay. You say Raipur. Mihir says Raipur. Raipur. Okay. What is the correct answer? What is the correct answer? And the correct answer is Raichur. Okay. Moving on to the next important set of questions on recent appointments. Now, there are various important quasi-judicial authorities or judicial authorities, like we have the Armed Forces Tribunal, we have the National Green Tribunal, and we have other important authorities, right, in India. You have the CVC, Central Vigilance Commissioner, you have the CAG, you have the Attorney General of India, various important authorities, the Chief Election Commissioner. So there are a number of important authorities in India who play a very important role. Now, I will not be able to discuss each and every statutory authority with you. The most important ones are the Election Commission, the next one is Comptroller and Auditor General of India, CAG. Okay. Right? Election Commission, what is the duty, the function of the Election Commission of India? What is the role of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India? What is the precise role that he does? Okay. Apart from that, there are also judicial authorities, right? NGT. What is NGT? What is NGT? The National Green Tribunal, a judicial body, a quasi-judicial body has been created by virtue of the National Green Tribunal Act as a specialized agency to listen to disputes relating to environment, relating to deforestation, relating to air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution. So, specialized agencies like these are created. What is the function? What is the role? Who are their chairmen? Who is the Chief Election Commissioner of India? Who is the Comptroller and Auditor General of India? Who is the chairman of the National Green Tribunal? Right? So, by these, all that I'm trying to mean is this, that if you are really preparing for a law entrance examination like this, AILET, you must be aware of this. You must also know about Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog. Right? Now, you also have the Press Council of India, okay? Something called the Press Now, you must be aware of these important things. You must be aware of these important things so that this might be asked in the question paper and so that you are not blank during that D-Day. So, the various recent appointments, important office holders is what we are going to discuss now. So, let's begin, guys. The first question. The executive chairperson of NALSA. First, tell me what is NALSA? What is NALSA? What is NALSA? What does NALSA stands for? What is NALSA? Tell me. I'm waiting for your replies. First tell me, I'll come to the answer. Wait, whether it is Justice U.U. Lalit, whether it is Justice A.S. Anand, R.N. Mishra, Ranganath Mishra, or is it Justice P.N. Bhagwati, I'll come to it. It stands for National Legal Services Authority. NALSA stands for National Legal Services Authority. What does it do? What is the function of NALSA? The precise function of this particular body is to provide something like legal aid. It's a legal services authority. They create awareness amongst people about laws. Right? They create awareness. And they travel to villages, rural areas, and spread the message, what is your right, what is the law. They create awareness. You also have State Legal Services Authority, District Legal Services Authority. Now at Taluka level also you have Taluka Legal Services Authority. And you also have the National Legal Services Authority. So this is the very important body. The executive chairperson of NALSA always is the second senior most judge of the Supreme Court after the Chief Justice. Since Justice Ramana is the patron-in-chief of NALSA, the executive chairman happens to be number 2 in the Supreme Court, Justice U.U. Lalit. Justice U.U. Lalit is the correct answer. Is that clear? Is that clear, all of you? Any doubts? Okay. Moving on to the next question. Guys. The current Chief Justice of India, I'm sure that if any one of you give me a wrong answer, that is absolutely unacceptable today. The Chief Justice of India, Justice N.V. Ramana. Justice N.V. Ramana, Justice Ramana happens to be the present Chief Justice of India. Very important. Now, I have a couple of questions. Who was the first Chief Justice of India? First Chief Justice. first Chief Justice of India? The first Chief Justice of India. First tell me that. Who was the first Chief Justice of India? The first Chief Justice of India. Okay. Hiralal Kania. H.J. Kania. Okay. I have another question for you. In the absence of the president or the vice president of India, who becomes the president of India? If the president of India is not there, if the vice president of India is also not there, who becomes the president of India? Is it the prime minister? Is it the speaker of the Lok Sabha? Who becomes the president of India when the president and the vice president is not there? The correct answer is the Chief Justice of India. The Chief Justice of India takes the power of the President of India. Can you give me an example? Wherein India had seen that a Chief Justice becoming the President of India for quite a period of time? Can you give me an example where the Chief Justice of India became the President of India, where the Chief Justice of India became the President of India for a short period of time? Very good, Justice Hidayatullah. Justice Hidayatullah is the correct answer. Justice Hidayatullah is the correct answer, guys. Okay? Justice Hidayatullah is the correct answer. Very good. Okay. The current Chief Justice of India, Justice Ramana. Let's move ahead. Question number 3. Chairman of the Press Council of India. Who is being appointed as the chairperson of the Press Council of India? Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai, Justice S.H. Kapadia, Justice Altamas Kabir. None of these. Who has been appointed as a chairman? If you have read the newspaper in the last couple of days, I'm sure you must have read about this. Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai. Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai has been appointed as the next chairman of the Press Council of India. Okay? Option A is the right answer. Option A is the right answer, guys. Okay? Justice R.P. Desai, Ranjana Prakash Desai. She was a judge of the Supreme Court of India. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Great. Moving on. Question number 4. Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Girish Chandra Murmu, Shashikant Sharma, Rajiv Maharishi. None of these. Very simple question. Very, very simple question, guys. Very, very simple question. Very good. Good. There is no doubt about it. G.C. Murmu. G.C. Murmu happens to be the present CAG. Prior to him was Shashikant Sharma and before him was Rajiv Maharshi. Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good. So, Girish Chandra Murmu is the right answer. Okay. Moving on, question number 5. Who is the 15th and current Attorney General of India? The Attorney General of India. Is it Mr. Venugopal, K.K. Venugopal? Is it Mr. Mukul Rohatgi? Is it Mr. G.E. Vahanvati? Or is it Milon K. Banerjee? The present Attorney General of India happens to be a pretty old man. And the correct answer is Mr. K.K. Venugopal. Mr. K.K. Venugopal is the present Attorney General of India. Now, what is the role of the Attorney General of India? The precise role of the Attorney General of India is he is the Chief Legal Officer of the Government of India. He happens to be the advisor to Government of India. He is the Chief Legal Officer. He appears for the Government of India in matters before the Supreme Court. Of course, the Solicitor General also appears. He happens to be the Chief Legal Officer of the country. He is an advisor to the Government of India. Now, one very important aspect about the highest law officer of the country, that is the Attorney General of India, is that he also can participate in any discussion inside the Parliament. Of course, he does not have a right to vote. He is the only non-MP. He happens to be a non-MP, member of the Parliament. He is not a member of the Parliament, but he can take part in any discussion before the Parliament, but he does not have a right to vote. He does not have a right to vote. That's it. Is that clear? Am I clear to all of you? Okay. So guys, if you're liking this session, do press the like button. Do press the like button, guys, if you're liking this session. And do not forget to share this video. The correct answer is K.K. Venugopal. Right? Question number 6. Who is the chairman of the National Green Tribunal? Who is the chairman of the National Green Tribunal? I told you what is the function of the Green Tribunal. Environment related cases. It is a body which decides on environment related cases. The National Green Tribunal. Chairman. Who is the chairman? Justice Rahul Bharti, Justice Adesh Kumar Goel, Justice Poonam Bhamba, Justice Sundar Mohan. A hint is the chairman of the National Green Tribunal is a former judge of the Supreme Court of India. A former judge of the Supreme Court of India. And the correct answer is Justice A.K. Goel, Justice Adesh Goel. Justice Adesh Goel is the present chairman of the National Green Tribunal. Okay. So the correct answer is option B. Moving on to the next question. The present Solicitor General of India, Tushar Mehta, Ranjit Kumar, Mohan Parasaran, Rohington Nariman. The former Solicitor General of India. Okay, the former Solicitor General of India, please. Now, what is the role of the Solicitor General of India? He is the second highest law officer. He also advises the Government of India. He appears for the Government of India in the Supreme Court. or high courts across the country. And before I tell you the correct answer, of course, the correct answer is none other than Tushar Mehta, who is presently the Solicitor General of India. But can you tell me who was the first Solicitor General of India? The first Solicitor General of India. The first Solicitor General of India. Please, anyone? Anyone? It's not Mukul Rohtgi. Mukul Rohtgi was the former Attorney General of India. Before Mr. K.K. Venugopal, he was the Attorney General of India. Rohington Nariman was a former judge of the Supreme Court. Yeah. He was also the Solicitor General. Ranjit Kumar was also the Solicitor General. Mohan Parasaran was also the Solicitor General. Rohington Nariman was also the Solicitor General. The first Solicitor General of India is none other than C.K. Daftari. Chandu Daftari. Okay. C.K. Daftari. C.K. Daftari. Chandu Daftari was the first Solicitor General of India. The first Solicitor General of India. Okay. Is that clear? Chandu Daftari. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Okay, the current Solicitor General of India is Tushar Mehta. Right. Is that clear? All of you. Are we all understanding these classes? Are you finding these classes interesting and important for you? If you are, then do press the like button. Do press the like button, guys. What are you waiting for? So that it's a way you thank BYJU'S exam prep. Okay. The next question. Which of the following, the question will be who will be the next Chief Justice of India? The next Chief Justice of India. I think there has been some typographical errors, okay? Who will be the next Chief Justice? The question is, I think there is some problem. Okay, the next Chief Justice of India, Justice Chandrachud, Justice S.A. Bobde, Justice Ranjan Gogoi, or Justice U.U. Lalit. Justice Bobde is a former CJI. Justice Ranjan Gogoi is a former CJI. The next Chief Justice of India will be Justice U.U. Lalit, and thereafter a time will come when Justice Chandrachud will also become the Chief Justice of India. Justice Chandrachud will also become the Chief Justice of India. Am I clear? Now, friends, now we know how to understand, how to solve questions. We at BYJU'S exam prep are always determined to help students to crack examination. Now, we are done with CLAT 2022. Okay? CLAT 2022 is over. Now we are looking forward to CLAT 2023, AILET 2022. So we have two exams. Now AILET 2022, then in December you will have CLAT 2023. Now this examination, AILET examination, be it AILET, be it CLAT, whatever it is, these are not very easy examination. A lot of determination, a lot of your patience is required, a lot of reading is required, a lot of knowledge is required for cracking these examination. Now, to crack this examination, it is absolutely important that it's kind of a meditation. It's a kind of a meditation, okay? Cracking these examinations are not easy. Now, if you see the number of students and the number of seats, you will understand that these examinations are equally or even tougher than IIT and JEE. If you see that ratio of number of seats and the number of students appearing. So, AILET, CLAT, of course, they are the most important examination. Do not be under any kind of a fear. Take a deep breath. Sleep properly before your examination. Just try to remember what you have already read. Whatever you have already read, that is what you should do now. Do not start anything new now. Do not start anything now. You have done enough. You have read enough. You have studied enough. All that right now I would say is that do not panic. Take a cool head and give this examination, and you will definitely come out with flying colors. Have the confidence in you that you can do it well. Just that. All we require is your confidence. If you have good confidence, that's it. Is that clear? All of you? Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. So I wish you all the very best. Do follow us on Instagram. Do subscribe to this YouTube channel. Do like our page in Facebook. Join our Telegram channel. And do not forget to download the BYJU'S Exam Prep app from the Google Play. Okay? Thank you very, very much. I wish you all the very, very best, guys. I wish you all the very best. Do well for this examination, and I'm sure, I'm confident myself that you all will come out with flying colors. All the very best. God bless you, friends, and do not forget to join us for the exam analysis on 26th. Okay? Till then, bye-bye. All the very best. God bless you. Okay? All the very, very best. Okay? All the very, very best. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.